Summary of The Wanderer by Sharon Creech. At the beginning of The Wanderer, Sophie talks about how the ocean is calling her and how much she wants to be out on the open seas. But her love and respect for the ocean are quickly dashed when she talks about a bad dream she had. In it, Sophie is going to be covered by a huge and terrible wave, and just as it is about to come crashing down on her to kill her, she suddenly comes to consciousness. To some degree, Sophie feels drawn to the ocean by instinct, but right from the start of the book, it's clear that her relationship with the water is also very troubling and dangerous. Boggy, Sophie's grandfather, lives in England. Her three uncles, Doc, M.O., and Stu, along with her cousins Brian and Cody, are going to take Doc's boat, the Wanderer, across the ocean to see him. Sophie wants to go on the trip with them because she wants to see Bompy and because she wants to be out on the open seas. Everyone thinks Bompy is dying soon. The crew, which is mostly men, doesn't want Sophie to come along because they think that she will ruin the trip by being a girl and that she isn't physically or mentally up to the hard work and possible dangers of sailing a ship. Although her parents have given her permission, she doesn't listen to what her crewmates have to say and goes on the trip anyway, whether they like it or not. Once the crew has fixed up the Wanderer where it is stationed in Connecticut, they start leaving for England. In Connecticut, and all along the trip, as it turns out, Sophie is good at fixing things and not nearly as useless as her team thought. An unknown part of Sophie's past becomes clear as the Wanderer moves forward. Her foster parents are who she's been talking about as her parents the whole time. Where are her real parents now? Cody and Brian can't stop thinking about this question. When they ask Sophie, she either doesn't answer at all or talks about a little kid whose parents died, but she never says that she is that little kid. Another thing is that Sophie always makes up stories about Bompy's life, but no one else on the team believes her because she has never met him. They make stops at Block Island, Martha's Vineyard, and Grand Manan, one of the Fundy Islands in New Brunswick. When they finally get out to sea, they go straight to Bompy in England. On the way, the Wanderer is hit by a wave that is almost as strong as the one in Sophie's fear, which almost kills the whole crew. Even though everyone makes it through, no one is the same afterward. The Wanderer is mostly about how the people who work on the ship change from before the wave to after it. They feel closer to each other and warmer toward each other than they did before. Before, they took their lives and deeds for granted. The crew is thrilled to be back on land when they get to England. When they get to Bompy's house, they find out that he had sent Sophie letters with stories about his life, so she wasn't making them up. But there's one story he doesn't recognize: when he was a kid at sea with his parents and they were swept away by a wave and drowned. Sophie then talks to Bompy and tells him all the stories he had sent her. Cody says that Sophie's story is better than Bompy's, and Bompy agrees. Sophia sobs and cries, but she has reached the end of her journey. She knows the truth about her past. This time, she has a more accurate and full picture of her past. She frees herself from the grips of a past she had blocked out of her mind by facing the ocean and surviving a wave similar to the one that killed her parents. She also learns more about who she is in relation to her old and new families and can finally tell them apart. She can start a new life now that she knows the truth.
About the author. Sharon Creech grew up in a neighborhood of Cleveland, but she often went to see her cousins in Quincy, Lewis County, Kentucky. This place has been in many of her books under the name Bybanks, Kentucky. Creech went to college in the U.S., where she became interested in telling stories. She later moved to England to teach English and writing to high school students. Before he started writing books for kids, Creech wrote two books for adults called The Recital, 1990, and Nickel Malley, 1991. Both were released in the UK. Many awards have been given to her work in children's books. The American Library Association gave her the Newbery Medal in 1995 for her book Walk Two Moons, 1994. In the UK, it won the Children's Book Award for long novels. It came in second place for the Newbery Award and got the Parents' Choice Award in the US. Creech has written 22 books and one play altogether. She lives in the US.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.